Hello there. In this video I just want to ask 3 simple questions to Jehovah's Witnesses who might stumble on my channel, and I'm not really demanding answers to these questions, although you're free to give your answers in the comments below. These questions are more designed to help you to think through your beliefs, and possibly understand a little bit more about where former witnesses like myself are coming from. So the first question: if Jehovah's Witnesses were a cult, how would you know? So think about it. Imagine you were raised as an Amish, and your whole existence was based on the fact that everything in the outside world was from Satan, and your only source of protection was within your Amish community. There's no way you would find out for yourself that the claims made by the Amish were basically ludicrous unless you actually left that community and saw for yourself that it is possible to have a productive and meaningful life outside of that community. There's no way you would know unless you actually left that community and experienced the outside world for yourself, that you would be able to understand that you'd basically been raised in a cult-like organisation. And then thinking about Scientology. When you're a Scientologist, you're raised, if you're raised as a Scientologist, you're raised to believe that Scientology offers the only meaningful understanding of our universe, and that anyone who criticises Scientology is a suppressive person. So you're not to listen to anyone who espouses views that run contrary to those of L. Ron Hubbard, the founder, because if you do, you're entertaining the thoughts of a suppressive person. Again, how would you find out that you were in a cult if you were basically banned from finding out what the other side of the argument is? So that's really the key question I would like Jehovah's Witnesses to think about. How would you know if Jehovah's Witnesses were a cult? It's all very well saying, oh well, Jehovah's Witnesses aren't a cult, I have the truth, there's nothing anyone could say that would shake me from my beliefs. But if you've never heard the other side of the argument, and you have never and you've been banned basically from doing objective research into your beliefs and seeing what is said out there in books, on websites, in magazine articles, then you're never really going to know for sure whether you are in a cult or not. And this leads me to my second question. If Jehovah's Witnesses have the truth, why are they so afraid of having their beliefs scrutinised? So you don't need me to tell you that the Watchtower Society is deeply concerned about Jehovah's Witnesses going on apostate websites, going on blog articles, watching videos like this, reading books that are critical of the religion. You're basically not supposed to do it. And my question is, and it's a question that I suppose all witnesses sort of think about, is if this is the truth, why aren't we allowed to scrutinise it? Why aren't we allowed to subject it to serious inquiry as to whether the claims made by Jehovah's Witnesses stand up to serious scrutiny? There should be red flags straight away if you're in a religious organisation that claims to have the truth but refuses to have this truth put under scrutiny. And that is a question that all witnesses, I think, already wonder, but it's worth really dwelling on. And my third question in this video: how do you prove to someone that the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society is the earthly part of God's organisation? So if you're a Jehovah's Witness and you hear that question, you think, well, there's lots of evidence that the Watchtower is God's organisation. Just look at the fact that we're preaching all over the earth. Just look at the love that there is between Jehovah's Witnesses. All of these sorts of things. Well, that's not evidence that the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society is the earthly part of God's organisation. When I use the word evidence, I mean evidence in the objective sense. I mean incontrovertible proof that your religion and your religion alone is mandated by the creator of the universe. And when you really do strip it down to the requirement for hard evidence, what you find is that there isn't a single iota of evidence that to suggest that the Watchtower Society is God's organisation. It's just a self-proclaimed authority. So please think about that. I've actually done a series of articles on my blog, and I'll put a link in the description below. It's called Under the Microscope, and it's looking at the claims of the Watchtower Society to divine direction, and it explores those claims from 4 different angles. There's 4 different parts to the series, and I did it a while ago. I did it maybe a couple of years ago, but this is basically my research that I'm offering to you if you're a Jehovah's Witness, and I invite you to go on those blog articles and comment, or comment on this video, because it really should be about evidence. It's not enough to simply say this is God's organisation, because just look at how loving Jehovah's Witnesses are to each other. Well, in any religion, those within the religion, those within the tribe are, show love to each other. And just being in numerous countries, not even every country I might add, because I've done another video where I talk about the 30 other lands, and again I'll put a link in the description. But Jehovah's Witnesses aren't in every country. There's at least 3 countries they're not in. And then there's the 30 other lands where they're such a small minority they're almost non-existent. In Bangladesh there's 1 witness for every 800,000 Bangladeshis, something like that. So it simply isn't enough to say, oh well, it must be God's organisation because look, we're all over the world. Well, there are lots of religions that are all over the world. The Catholic Church is in more countries in higher numbers than Jehovah's Witnesses, but that doesn't make them the true religion. So I hope that these questions are thought-provoking for you. I'll just repeat them. If Jehovah's Witnesses were a cult, how would you know? Second question, if Jehovah's Witnesses have the truth, why are they so afraid of having their beliefs subjected to scrutiny? How do you prove to someone that the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society is the earthly part of God's organisation? I'd be very, very interested to hear your responses to those questions if you want to comment, and thank you for watching.